Hi friends, welcome to my Rolodex art card Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket. Today I am just drawing out my little bottom pieces here and the lines where my card goes, and I'm sanding it down. First found that a little bit easier for myself, and then I do both sides. I choose which side I want to paint on. Cut out my little pieces for the bottom of the Rolodex, and then I grab basically, I grab my I want to sketch up the top of the hat because I knew I wanted the hat to stick out, so that's where I'm doing Pinocchio's Poconos hat, and and then I choose my, I'm thinking here what I'm going to do for Jiminy, and I decided to do Jiminy fairly large, although like in the movie he's about the size of, he's standing on his shoe. I decided to make him fairly large beside him. So let's see, I am using my mechanical pencil just to sketch up his face right now, and having some fun with it, going back and forth and just trying to get a bit of a realistic Pinocchio face, and as well as working on Jiminy Cricket. I was having a little difficulty with his hair. I'm like, I want to look not too hipster because they didn't have that kind of style of hair there. And now I'm working on Jiminy, and I decided to start with his big feet. He's got nice big feet, and his face I'm drawing right now. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here. It's hard to see, but I'm doing the little sleeves and that kind of thing, and I do a little bit playing with his umbrella, and decide which way to make it kind of point outward. I'm cutting out just the top, so I'm not, using extra paint in the background. I use leftover paint anyways to do the background, so I start with all my black colors first. My paints I'm using are acrylic paint from DecoArts, and most of them are fluid acrylic. This one's just a black Traditions from DecoArts. And I get all the black, his Jiminy's, what would that be, like a suit or a jacket there first, his eyes, as well as Pinocchio's black of his eyes and hair. I'm going on with the color of Jiminy here. I had to do a couple layers. The color was really sat for a while, so I really had to shake it again, and I did do a couple layers just to get it right for him. So here you probably see me shaking it like crazy, getting it in there. And working on that, I do a little white and gray there, white and black mixed gray just for the inside of his sleeves. I'm doing a navy blue, so the blue I'm using is a true blue, I believe. I will take a peek at it. It is actually cobalt blue. I lied. Cobalt blue, and then I also use a little bit of a light white in there and mix that up to just lighten it up. I'm using school bus yellow, as well as just a little bit of a touch of red. I put a dab of red in there for my orangey highlights or whatever. I do a little bit of his belt there. He has a bit of a cumber, I can't think it's called, cumber belt or something. Anyways, he's got that nice deep coffee bean brown pants, and there is his umbrella, nice and red. So I'm just going over some of that yellow on the red just to take some of it away. Highlights of white, going back and forth a little bit here. I'm darkening his green, and that is the green that I'm used there is antique green, and all my paints are from DecoArts, so that's what I use, is antique green there. I'm using just a little bit of a brush of that just on his brown pants, and just, I'm moving in the color everywhere here a little bit. Add a little black to his top hat. Now I'm using a peach for his face, Pinocchio's face. I do lighten it up with a bit of almond. I do darken some highlights with a bit of, I think it was red English oxide just up right there on his hairline. And he's looking too human, so I ended up putting some almond on him after. He was looking too pink. He looked too alive. So I had to make him look more like a wooden boy. So I did put the almond to kind of pale him up a bit. And, you know, I used some of my little leftover colors that I had my brush too at the end to just kind of add a little bit different colors to him. So I'm just going back and forth with a little color, lightening it up here, and trying to... This is where I'm thinking he's starting to look a little bit more like a boy, so I think soon after this I add a little bit more, like I think I add the almond. But I played with his face for a little while. Because he was looking too human, too like a boy. So this is where I throw the almond in there. Because he was looking too fleshy, too lifelike. So I wanted to make him look a little more artificial. Poor Pinocchio. I put the oxide on his tongue, and then I used the coffee bean brown in the back of his mouth. I put a little bit of that light blue in there, and then I used, when I change his eyes a little bit, like I kind of put more white in there, I just use a marker after the Posca pen for light blue. But here's the yellow that I'm using again. It's like a school bus yellow, and I just dip my paintbrush in the brown. Sorry guys. Close the door for that. Chihuahuas. And then I use the blue, the same blue I used for Jiminy's hat on the strip, holding the red feather, which is that cobalt blue, and I add the lighter blue that I had out on there. And I'm just going back and forth. Here I am putting the white on the eyes. I make them a little bit smaller, then I go in with Posca pen after. You probably see that. I've like, oh, one eye looked a little odd, so I kept playing with it a bit. I was looking at him and I'm thinking, you know what, he kind of was looking like, what's that guy's name, the Jetson guy? Don't know. I used to watch the Jetson with my brother, my Jetsons. Anyway, so I was like, playing with his eyes a bit. He probably doesn't look too much like the original Pinocchio. I keep wanting to say that. But, and I like him. He's pretty cute anyway. You never want to get them to look exactly the same. I really had fun. This marker is one that bleeds a bit when it gets wet, so I actually was trying to use that to my advantage. You'll see I have my water brush, and I was trying to use that to move this color and make shading. I'm not sure if I liked it. I kind of went back and forth with it a bit, and you'll see me doing that around the eyes. And I think I just kind of used the Posca pen at the end because I just didn't like what it was doing. So it was too much. I did like it around the hat area. I was trying it around the ears, didn't work for me. So I think it worked a little bit better for me on the hat. So here's me doing the water brush, trying to just using the marker for what it does, but I didn't like the look. So I'm taking some away with the water brush and the marker that I don't like. I'm just kind of using that to pull it away because it's all water soluble anyway. So I'm using some Posca pen, both white and black, trying to fix the eyes a bit. Highlights, I fixed that. It was too much. But you know, it takes a while, and you gotta go back and forth to play with it. Sorry about the dogs in the background, stinkers. Here I'm using my Posca just to get little bits and pieces here. I've already sprayed some sealer on there, but I'm going over it again in spots and noticing things that I missed, or I missed his little antennae. I did the edging here, and then I did add some background color after too. My goodness, I'm so embarrassed, the dogs. So I'm using the leftover green from Jiminy and the yellow, and then I also use a little bit of that peach in there to try to, just because it's there and I'm using it up, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah, just little touch-ups real here and there is what I'm doing pretty much next, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. I guess I will talk to you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.